Nothing you're about to hear should be taken as or used in place of medical advice. If you resemble anything you hear, contact your doctor. If you want to know what Walgreens thinks, ask them, because we don't know. Please wait behind the line for privacy.
You're listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. I'm Cynthia, the pharmacist, and today you'll get your questions answered and your curiosity cured. We're going to be talking about hair. On Monday, I talked about hair, drew my nice little diagram to show you like all the parts of the hair and everything. And so today, I'm going to talk to you about the things that go into the health of your hair. You can probably get on Google. You could probably go into a retail store like a Walmart or a drugstore or something and see products and a whole list of things of here are all the things that you need to do and the things that you need to take for healthy hair. And here's my disclaimer. If you live in a modernized country, then the foods that you eat are going to give you more than enough of the vitamins that you need. One, because we have excellent access to a wide variety of foods when it comes to fresh produce, freshly butchered meat, if you like meat, and things like that. But also because of our modernized culture, a lot of our foods, if you eat or feed your children boxed foods, they're fortified with other vitamins. So very rarely do you really and truly need to supplement every single vitamin on the planet. That's my disclaimer. We're very fortunate in that we have such great access to foods, but there may be certain things that you have to supplement for certain reasons. So I'm going to go over 5 different supplements that you will probably see in a lot of documentation, whether it's true scientific documentation or very fad, loud, screamy blog documentation. 5 things that they say are good for your hair that really are good for your hair, but you're probably, again, with my disclaimer, you're probably getting more than enough of those vitamins without having to actually supplement. But knowing what they are can kind of help you identify foods that will benefit you rather than just like having to go and take a pill. Because there's no reason that somebody needs to take 3,000% of their daily dose of vitamin C. Like, really? Like, what is your body going to do with 3,000%? It's going to just have to work really hard to filter it out to say, hey, I don't need this, and then you're going to like pee it out, and it's pointless. Plus, too much vitamin C, if you've ever had too much vitamin C, will give you diarrhea. So, there you go. So, 5 vitamins that are good for your hair health. Number 1 thing that people say is good for your hair, biotin. Biotin has a couple of other names. They group it in the B vitamins, so you get some biotin in a B complex vitamin. It's previously been called vitamin H because when they originally started identifying vitamins back in the old-timey days, they just kind of started with A and like worked down their alphabet, and then they realized that there was this couple that seemed really similar in structure and in source and things like that, so then they just kind of like meshed those into the B's, and so then you have like B numbers. So it's B7. Previously it was known as vitamin H, I guess vitamin hair, I don't know. Biotin, it's a cofactor that works with your enzymes, and one of its main jobs in your body is to help transport carbon dioxide. And so in your body, carbon dioxide is a waste product. So biotin, kind of like biotin, it's a good job, helps take the trash out, right? So when your cells go through metabolism processes of burning energy and carbon dioxide ends up being the waste, biotin is the one that says, oop, let's get that out of the way. Yeah, she's talking to her Cheerios, hanging out with me, eating her Cheerios. So carbon dioxide, the places where you get a lot of the carbon dioxide is when your body is making fatty acid chains. As the chains get linked together, the piece that gets kind of thrown away, carbon dioxide. So biotin says, whoop, let's get rid of that. Then when your body breaks down amino acids, Part of that waste from that process is carbon dioxide. So biotin says, whoop, get rid of that. And then the third place is in a process called gluconeogenesis. And it is when your body takes something that's not already glucose and turns it into glucose so your body can use it. And so that's a callback to like way back when we talked about liver, and I've talked about diabetes and things like that. But the main source of energy your body uses is glucose. So anything that's not glucose that can be turned into glucose, your body will turn it into glucose if it needs it. And so when that process happens, carbon dioxide ends up being waste. So if we know that biotin helps our cells get rid of carbon dioxide waste so it doesn't build up that toxic waste and it helps get rid of it, then biotin is kind of good like overall your body. You can get biotins from food. Peanuts is a huge source of biotin just naturally. But the other thing that people don't realize, and this is why sometimes you probably don't need to supplement biotin, because your little intestine friends, I call them friendly bacteria, your natural flora, all those little bacteria friends in your intestines that help you digest food, they actually make biotin for you. In their help with digestion process as a bacteria, they make biotin. And then your body steals their biotin and uses it wherever it needs to go, including growing your hair and your skin and your nails. So very rarely are you biotin deficient unless you have a major dysfunction with your intestinal bacteria. So biotin does good work. How does that necessarily help with hair growth? Well, it doesn't necessarily grow your hair, but the fact that it helps, or take a bunch of antibiotics. So if you have a dysfunctional relationship with your intestinal bacteria, then they may not be making the biotin like you need, but they make biotin. And so very rarely, again, does someone actually need to supplement biotin because you have this wonderful symbiotic relationship in your body that is making it for you. So with hair growth or hair health, the biotin is responsible for all of the cells in your hair follicles. Remember the picture? All of the living cells that are down here doing all their reproduction and dividing and stuff like that to grow hair. When they create waste, biotin is moving that waste out efficiently so that carbon dioxide waste doesn't build up in the cells and make them toxic and unhealthy. So there's biotin. Another vitamin that will be promoted for hair growth is iron. And no, your hair is not made of metal. If your hair was made of metal, it'd probably be a lot stronger. Iron is probably the number one of a vitamin or mineral, however you want to look at it. Something that people probably are deficient in. One, because there are physiological and genetic things that allows iron and the parts of the blood that uses iron to be less efficient. But also, iron is one of those leafy green vitamins. It's also one of those red meat vitamins. So people who don't want to eat red meat usually don't get a lot of iron. Why is the meat red? Well, because it has a large blood supply and iron is in your blood. And in blood of lots of critters. So anyway, carnivore, I'm okay with that. But people, if you're not eating a lot of vegetables, like salad vegetables and garden vegetables and things like that, then you're probably not getting that iron. But again, in my disclaimer, because of our modernized food selections, and even, again, boxed foods, they're fortified with these other vitamins that you may not get because you don't eat certain other things. So milk gets fortified with iron, cereals get fortified with iron. So, again, for somebody to be deficient in iron is usually more of a genetic physiological thing than a diet thing. But iron is one of the things that people do have to supplement because iron is responsible for helping your red blood cells carry oxygen around to all the places that need oxygen. Thus, iron is one of the big reasons for anemia. If you don't have the iron for your red blood cells to have its nice little basket for oxygen, then your body's not going to get the oxygen and your body's going to be exhausted. So that's what iron does. how does that apply to your hair and the health of your hair? Well, if you need a blood supply to your hair follicle for your hair to grow, then you're going to need iron to be able to carry blood and the oxygen in the blood to the hair follicle for it to be able to use that oxygen. Simple as that. There's multiple reasons why iron deficiency and people would need to supplement iron more so than any other vitamin that's probably listed. And probably people who have had prolonged anemia probably have really crummy hair and really crummy nails and really pale, dull skin, because the inside of your body is your body's number one focus to make sure it has enough blood and enough things that it needs. As you move outwards towards things that are farthest away, like your fingers and toes, and things that are furthest away, like from the center inside to the outside, so that would be your skin and all the things that grow out of your skin, like your nails and your hair, they end up being a lower priority because it's more worried about making sure your brain has what it needs, your heart and lungs have what it needs, your kidneys, your eyes, those things become more important. And even your eyes are kind of like on a lower level, a lower priority, but somewhere in between your heart and your hair. So that's how the body prioritizes what it needs. So if you're deficient in something, it's going to give the highest supply to the most vital things that like keep you alive and breathing and things like that. So iron, good for your hair because it helps increase the oxygen supply to your hair follicles. Because again, those cells are living and they're dividing, so they're going to need that nutrient source from that blood supply. And so one of those nutrients is that oxygen for energy. Energy processes. You're talking to me. She's just talking away. The flip side of that is if you end up with too much iron, if you try to supplement iron without really needing to supplement iron, then iron can cause damage to your body. So, but we're going to keep it positive. We're not going to talk about all that. So, vitamin number 3, vitamin C. Vitamin C is another one that, oh, she dropped her thing. Let me go get it. I'll be right back. Vitamin C, we get a lot of vitamin C from things we eat. And vitamin C is responsible for helping in collagen production. And that's probably the one that's most directly related to skin, hair, and nails in that respect. Because collagen is the protein that goes in your cells to help them be elastic and stretchy and squishy. So when something happens to it and it gets bumped or abrased or whatever, that it can kind of bounce back and not be so brittle and fragile. So with collagen going into the cells of your hair follicles, then as that collagen is in the cells that die, then the cells that end up dead and making your hair shaft, as the older cells die, they get packed full of keratin, which makes them kind of hard and stiff, and then it lets them be packed tight together. And so most of this is keratin or keratinized cells from your hair follicle. So if the cells that are being keratinized when they die, it's kind of like embalming. The cells that get keratinized after they die, if they were very elastic and full of collagen, then they're going to have lots of elasticity and be able to handle a lot of abuse once it's out here. So that's probably most directly related. Vitamin C is also responsible for helping your digestive tract absorb iron. So, call back to iron. If you need iron for blood supply, whether it's for anemia or other things, but you don't have enough vitamin C for your body to absorb all the iron, then the iron is just going to go into your intestines and make you constipated. So the vitamin C does two main jobs. It helps your digestive tract absorb the iron, and then it helps the cells build collagen. So it's like nice and stretchy. So that's why collagen is like so important for like face and like wrinkle creams and stuff, because you want that elasticity to be in your skin, so it's not saggy or wrinkly or things like that, because you want it to be springy and elastic. That's vitamin C's job. Number 4 is vitamin E. And vitamin E has lots of praises in lots of places. You can actually do like vitamin E, like hot vitamin E oil on your hair. Oils in your body are very moisturizing. And vitamin E is an oil-based vitamin. So you can actually find it in vegetable oils. The job of vitamin E also has to do with oils. You've heard of free radicals, probably. Some like loud, screamy something. Iron deficiency is lifelong. And a lifelong iron deficiency is probably something like genetically based in your body, that's just the lot that you got given. And so then you have to take care of that with iron supplements and other things. And that's why I said iron is usually the one that is most required for supplementation, because there are other genetic problems that can lead to iron deficiency, not just you didn't eat the right vegetables. So free radicals. You mad now? Free radicals are things that, if you think of the word radical, they like do crazy things. So, you want it? No. You want out? Okay. Free radicals, radical meaning like, you know who radicals are. They get kind of bonkers. So I take iron, I should add vitamin C. Yes, you probably could add a small supplement of vitamin C just to ensure that you're getting maximum absorption of the supplements that you take. Free radicals are molecules that are results of, or like waste products from different processes in your body. And so usually after the reaction in your body is over, they tend to have a non-neutral charge to them. So they may come out of a reaction and end up having like a negative charge. So in chemistry and all of the things with like electrons and protons and things like that, the negative charge wants to try to connect with a positive charge so it can be like all happy and neutral again. They can be damaging to your body. In respect that a lot of free radicals, they tend to want to steal their opposite charge to get back to normal from your DNA. So there's a lot of that like gets really scary sounding. But vitamin E is an antioxidant. So if something has been oxidized from a reaction and it's a free radical now floating around, then vitamin E is the one that like says, hey, I'll donate this to you so you can be all happy in the middle again instead of being a radical. The specific free radicals that vitamin E focuses on are the waste radicals from like fatty acid and lipid reactions. So again, because it's oil based and so fats are oils, any free radicals that come from fatty acid production or breakdown or metabolism or anything like that, the vitamin E in your body is going to be like, hey, let me help unradicalize you. Unradicalize? I made up that word. But it's like, here, I'll give this to you. I'll donate this to you so you can like just be happy and normal again instead of being a radical, trying to steal stuff from your DNA. In relation to the health of your hair, if you've got free radicals that are damaging the cells that are trying to divide and grow your hair, the cells, by the time they reach the end of their lifespan, are going to be weakened. And so then as they grow out the shaft of your hair, then they're going to be weaker and not as resilient because they had been damaged by free radicals. Again, it's not necessarily directly related. It's mostly about all of the life that's going on down in here where the cells are still alive and still needing blood and still needing nutrients and still trying to grow and divide and make more of themselves. That's the part where most of these vitamins are being beneficial to keep that in as happy and productive as possible. And then the last one out of the 5 that we were talking about today is the omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acid is just an oil. It's one of the fatty acids that goes into the production of your natural skin oil. And It just helps keep everything moisturized because, again, oil in your body is moisturizing, where water, not so much. You put water on your lips and your lips seem to dry out. You put something rather oily on your lips and they seem to stay moist because the oil actually holds the moisture into the skin, so the natural water in your skin doesn't evaporate as fast. So the oil in fatty acids goes into the production of your natural skin oil. And some people are like, oh, my skin is so oily. Well, your skin needs its natural oil for that reason. The oil helps trap up dirt. It helps trap up bacteria so it doesn't get into your pores and cause infection. So the skin oil has a very important job. Yes, it does. So with your hair follicle, where it comes out of your skin, has oil glands around it, so that as the hair grows out, that oil goes with it and keeps it moisturized and keeps it conditioned. Because one of the things that's really popular now when it comes to like hair health and trying to keep lots of chemicals off of our bodies that's in like commercial products and things like that is going like without shampoo. And that can freak some people out because they're like, oh, my hair is going to get so oily. Well, what do you think old-timey people did when they didn't have shampoo? They weren't just nasty, gross. I mean, they had some hygiene problems. They had to learn the hard way of that you can't eat where you poop and things like that. Their hair and skin, you could wash with water and water will get dirt off, but all of that oil in their hair actually kept their hair rather healthy. Yeah, and again, living with animals, learning that there are some hygiene things that you have to take care of, but like you don't have to have crazy, insane, scrubby, bubbly soap to get clean. The oil that goes with your scalp, it conditions the hair, because as the hair gets down here, again, all of this down here is dead. It's already been keratinized. It's not going to earn any more nutrients other than what kind of trickles down the follicle. The longer the hair is, then the further the nutrients from the oil up here has to travel. I used to wash my hair every day and it was so dry. Yes, exactly, because the commercial shampoos, they tend to strip that oil off of your hair. And again, if the oil is intended to help hold moisture in, then you strip that oil away, and then any extra moisture that's inside of it is going to evaporate faster. And so some people do like oil conditioning and oil treatments where you do the oil on the whole of the hair, and that just allows the lower parts of your hair that get handled more and get more abuse from whether you use you heat dry your hair or use or other heat things on your hair. Just allows it to absorb that moisture, because then moist conditioned hair is going to be more flexible to be able to take the abuse of you wanting to curl your straight hair or putting in a ponytail or doing braids or doing whatever it is that you do to your hair. So that oil is beneficial in that way. So a lot of people are jumping on the no shampoo train for that reason. And yes, because just like with face washes, when you wash the oil off your face and your face goes, oh my gosh, my protective layer has been taken away, and it wants to overproduce oil because it freaks out. Your scalp does the same thing with shampoos. You strip that oil away and it goes, oh my gosh, my protection is gone, so it wants to overproduce. So if you go the no poo route, then you kind of have to go through the over oily phase for it to like balance back out and be like, oh, okay, everything's fine. And I'm not brave enough to just like let my hair go like completely oily for 2 whole weeks, because I think that's how long I've heard that it takes. But oil in general is directly related to the health of your hair, especially the hair that's just coming out of your scalp, because it keeps it moisturized. So that's the vitamins. Again, my disclaimer is that most vitamins, if you're eating in a modernized country, you're going to be getting all of the vitamins that you need from the food you eat, whether it's fresh produce or boxed foods that have been fortified or boxed cereals that have been fortified. A lot of our milk and juices that you buy are fortified. So you can rest assured that a lot of those things you're getting. Iron, as I said before, is probably the vitamin that has to be supplemented most, because iron deficiency is more than just a dietary problem. It can be a genetic deficiency where somebody's body just doesn't maintain it or use it properly. And then out of all of these things that they say are for the health of your hair, the two most directly related is vitamin C, because it's involved in collagen, and that's what helps keep your cells, including the cells of your hair as it's growing, elastic and springy and stretchy and flexible. But also the oil, the fatty acids. Oh my goodness. Say, I'm just done. I'm just done with this, Mama. I'm just done. The oil allows your hair to be moisturized and keeps it healthy. Again, once the cells are dead and they can't get any more nutrients, that oil that can travel down the shaft of the hair from where it's produced in your scalp also helps with the resilience and the flexibility of your hair, because your hair gets dry and it gets brittle. So, oh no, I'm sorry. So she says we're done. Bye, y'all. Thanks for listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. The pharmacy is now closed. You can post your questions and comments on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/pharmanswerspod. Or you can email the show at pharmacistanswershere@gmail.com. You can tweet me or message me on Twitter @SinHendrix. You can find the show notes at pharmacistanswershere.wordpress.com. Pharmacist Answers broadcasts live on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time on the Periscope app. You can follow me @SinHendrix or view in your web browser at periscope.tv/SinHendrix. See you next time on the Pharmacist Answers podcast.